Hello, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Ropes with Coach Mario. Coach Mario, owner and head coach of Warriors Pride Boxing Academy here in Miami, Florida. How are you guys doing? I hope everybody's fine. It's almost the end of the week. Looking forward for this weekend. Relax a little bit, kick back. Here in Miami, Florida, the weather's been kind of nice off and on. It's kind of a bipolar type of weather. One day it's cold, one day it's hot. It's crazy. But anyway, guys, today I'm going to talk about something that I've been requested by some of my subscribers in my YouTube channel, Inside the Ropes with Coach Mario, to talk a little bit about the little island of Puerto Rico, the great fighting breed that Puerto Rican fighters have historically brought to the sport. To a sport that is known worldwide, to a sport that has had many legends from different countries. And when I say country, I'm talking about the little island of Puerto Rico, which is 100 miles long, 35 miles wide. It's a very small island. However, there's got to be something in the water in Puerto Rico that produces some of the greatest fighters in history and some of the most prolific champions that such a small island can produce. Again, it's 100 miles long, 35 miles wide. According to the Ring magazine, in an article published some years back, they mentioned that pound for pound champion of the world as far as boxing goes was the small island of Puerto Rico. Why? Because it had more champions per capita than any other country in the whole wide world. So let's talk a little bit about who I believe are some of the top 10 fighters. And this is a list that I put together. I don't know if you guys agree with some of these. If I'm missing anybody, please make sure you comment and tell me who you think should be in this list, who shouldn't be on this list. I'm just calling them not by number 1 or 2 status. I'm just calling the top 10. And you can place them wherever you like, exchange them in order of importance, in order of achievements. That's up to you guys. But I'm just going to talk about the top 10 Puerto Rican fighters of all time, my list, all right? And Puerto Rico has a rich history in the sport of boxing, my friends, producing numerous world champions and iconic fighters. The island has a strong boxing culture and has contributed significantly to the sport's legacy. Determining the top 10 best Puerto Rican boxers of all time is a challenging task, as there are many boxers who have left a lasting impact on the sport. However, based on their accomplishment, influence, and contributions to the sport, the following list represents 10 of the top 10 Puerto Rican boxers of all time. It is important to note that Puerto Rico has produced many other notable boxers who have made significant contributions to the sport. The island's rich boxing tradition continues to thrive, and the legacy of these legendary fighters will endure for generations to come. And we are sure of that, guys. We have some good guys coming up. Among them, the beast, Subriel Matias, who I believe is going to be a top 10 future all-time great for Puerto Rico's boxing legacy. Okay, number 1. Again, this is not by order of importance. This is a list that I put together. Felix Tito Trinidad. Trinidad was known for his aggressive style and knockout power. He had a record of 42 wins, 35 fights by knockout, and 3 losses. His career highlights include winning world titles in 3 weight classes and facing some of the biggest names in boxing, including Oscar de la Hoya and Bernard Hopkins. Wow, Tito. I remember the chant, Tito, 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 whenever he would come down, man. He's one of my favorite of all time, guys. This guy had that lead hook that was devastating. If you get hit with that lead hook, you were going down. Tito Trinidad was not only a man of the people, or is a man of the people, but he's very humble. He's a very humble individual, gets along with everybody. And that's the reason why everybody in Puerto Rico loved him, adored him. They still do to this day. And I remember when he beat De La Hoya, and he did beat De La Hoya. For those guys that say that he never beat De La Hoya, he did beat him. De La Hoya ran like a chicken. And I remember that fight. It was a close fight. De La Hoya won some of the first rounds, maybe the first half, close to the first half. Maybe 1 or 2 rounds went to Tito. But then afterwards, he started running because once he got hit by Tito, he didn't want to get embarrassed and get knocked out. And he never gave Tito Trinidad the opportunity of a rematch. He was scared of him, and we all know that. All right? But I remember when Tito came down from the island, he flew in back to the island after that victory. The whole island stopped. I mean, there were like traffic jams all over. I remember when he came down from Isla Verde all the way down Carolina. It was great. It was a great festive type of atmosphere. Everybody was proud of this guy, and we haven't had a champion like this since Tito, in my opinion. And we're looking forward, and I would say we, all Latinos, especially Puerto Ricans, are looking forward for the next Tito Trinidad, the next champion that will bring that island together into recognition. All right, number 2, Miguel Cotto. Cotto was known for his relentless pressure and body punching. He had 41 wins, 33 by knockout, 6 losses. His career highlights include winning world titles in 4 weight classes and engaging in memorable battles with the likes of Antonio Margarito and Manny Pacquiao. All right, he got destroyed by Manny Pacquiao. Wow, that was unbelievable. A lot of people say Manny was on PEDs. I don't know, guys, but you know, that was unnatural. I remember that night. The Margarito, you all know the saga of Margarito, Antonio Margarito, one of the dirtiest fighters of all time. Had a lot of talent as far as a pressure fighter, but you know, used illegal wraps in order to be able to beat Miguel Cotto. Then after he got caught and got sanctioned, and the rematch went along and got scheduled, he was not allowed to use these type of wraps. Miguel Cotto gave him a beating of his lifetime. All right, really beat his ass up. I remember watching that fight at a Hooters here in Miami, Florida, and we were all screaming. We had a great time. Miguel Cotto, he didn't have much of a personality. He still doesn't. People loved him. Madison Square Garden, whenever he would fight there, people would love to see him fight. But he's like a weird type of character, which was not the type of personality that Tito had. So in that aspect, I don't think that people see Miguel Cotto and Tito Trinidad in the same level. All right, now let's see number 3, Wilfredo Gomez. Gomez was a hard-hitting, aggressive fighter with exceptional punching power. He had a record of 44 wins, 42 by knockout, and 3 losses. His career highlights include winning world titles in 3 weight classes and being involved in legendary fights with the likes of Salvador Sanchez and Carlos Zarate. All right, I remember those 2 also. I saw those 2 fights live. I mean, the Carlos Zarate was a massacre, all right? I believe Carlos Zarate was going up in weight and had 53 fights or 50-something fights, all of them by knockout. That's crazy. This guy had knocked out every single opponent. And Gomez had 2. They were both undefeated. Gomez gave him a beating, knocked his ass out. I remember what round it was. But then when Gomez, and this is the thing with Gomez, Gomez had a very, how can I say, pretentious personality. His ego was really high. And you can't blame him, bro. This guy could knock everybody out, but he was kind of, you know, had that personality, that narcissism about him. But people in Puerto Rico loved him, the champ, man. We loved Wilfredo Gomez. I remember all his fights. Salvador Sanchez fight, man, we got heartbroken in Puerto Rico. I remember seeing that fight too. He got his ass whooped, big time. Salvador Sanchez, for me, if he would have lived a little bit more years, he would have been the greatest boxer, Mexican fighter of all time. better than Julio Cesar Chavez. That guy was an animal. What a fighter that guy was, man. I'm a total fan of Salvador Sanchez, all right? Now, number 4, Wilfred Benitez. Benitez was a masterful technician with superb defensive skills. He had a record of 53 wins, 31 by knockout, 8 losses, and 1 draw. His career highlights include becoming the youngest world champion in boxing history at the age of 17. And facing legends such as Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns. 17 years old, guys. Beat Kid Pambele for the world title. The lineal champion. He beat the lineal champion. He didn't beat some chump like Rolly Romero. He beat the lineal champion at 17 years old while still being in high school. Can you imagine that? And this is the funny thing. This generation now, when they see a 20-something-year-old fighter, 23-year-old fighter, oh, he's too young. Salvador Sanchez had defended his title, I don't know how many times. He beat, the top fighters in the world at 23. That's when he died, when he passed away tragically. And so many others, guys. So stop with the excuse, he's too young. Stop with that, man. In boxing, you're either good or you're not. At 23, if you are not that good, you're never going to be, excellent and an excellent fighter, an elite fighter. And at 23, you're not top level, you're never going to be top level. You might be able to get lucky and beat somebody, a B plus or something like that and get lucky. But Salvador Sanchez, Wilfred Benitez, guys like these, hey, these are generational fighters, guys. You don't see this too often, all right? So El Radar Benitez, an unbelievable guy, had some great fights. Maurice Hope, that knockout was unbelievable. I saw Wilfred, I used to see him all the time because I used to work in Plaza Carolina at a Kinney shoe store. I was a manager there. And he used to come by and go to the arcade and play video games with the little kids, man. He had no childhood, this guy. It was all about boxing for him. Unfortunately, he's in a very bad medical situation right now in Puerto Rico, and our hopes and prayers go to Wilfred Benitez, El Radar Benitez, youngest champion of all time. Right, number 5. Hector Macho Kamacho was known for his flamboyant style and exceptional speed. He had a record of 79 wins, 38 by knockout, 6 losses, and 3 draws. His career highlights include winning world titles in multiple weight classes and facing off against iconic fighters such as Julio Cesar Chavez and Sugar Ray Leonard. He got his ass whooped by Julio Cesar Chavez and knocked out Sugar Ray Leonard. Ended his career. This guy was unbelievable. You talk about fast hands, incredible hand speed, unbelievable talent. He was a great fan of Bruce Lee. He called himself the Puerto Rican Bruce Lee. He wanted to be just like Bruce Lee. And his talent was off the charts, guys. If this guy would have been a little more disciplined and didn't have that kind of life that led him to drugs and his death, in Puerto Rico, well, as you all know, he got shot and got killed with one of his friends in a car. He would have been, in my opinion, one of the greatest fighters of all time. This guy not only was flamboyant, he was very likable. I used to laugh at his antics as he was coming down to the ring, dressed up in different attire. Macho Kamacho, El Macho Kamacho, you can't get any more entertaining than that, guys. He was awesome. Number 6, Carlos Ortiz. Ortiz was known for his technical proficiency and exceptional counterpunching. He had a record of 61 wins, 30 by knockout, 7 losses, and 1 draw. His career highlights include winning world titles in 2 weight classes and being involved in classic bouts with the likes of Ismael Laguna and Sugar Ramos. That Sugar Ramos fight, I told you guys in the past, that's how I started getting into boxing. My family always watched boxing, but that fight, Carlos Ortiz was fighting Sugar Ramos at the Iran Bithorn Stadium, and my my father, my grandfather, my uncle, the men of the house, said, come on, Mario, let's go. We're going to go and see the fight. And we went to the Iran Beathorn, and I must have been maybe 10 years old, 9 years old, something like that. And Carlos Ortiz gave Sugar Ramos a beating and knocked his ass out. I don't remember how many rounds it was, but it was a massacre. And I had never seen anything like that. The atmosphere, the first time watching a high-level professional boxing match, Carlos Ortiz was a master. In my opinion, he's all the way up there as one of the best Puerto Rican fighters of all time. He was unbelievable. Mr. Carlos Ortiz, Hall of Famer. Number 7, Ivan Calderon. Calderon was a crafty southpaw, known for his exceptional footwork and defensive skills. He had a record of 35 wins, 6 by knockout, 3 losses, 1 draw. His career highlights include winning world titles in 2 weight classes and being recognized as one of the best light flyweight fighters of this era. He has recently been inducted to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Very well deserved. I think more deserved than some other guys that have been there before, like Timothy Bradley. I don't think Timothy Bradley deserves to be there, to be honest with you guys. There's a lot better fighters than Timothy Bradley that belong in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And, finally, Ivan Calderon got his due and his credit and the recognition that he deserves, because he should have been there a long time ago, way before Timothy Bradley. That is my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I think. All right, number 8, someone that not too many people know, but you must watch him if you haven't never seen Edwin El Chapo Rosario. Rosario was a powerful puncher with excellent boxing skills. He had a record of 47 wins, 41 by knockout, 6 losses, and 2 draws. His career highlights include winning world titles in 2 weight classes and engaging in memorable battles with the likes of Jose Luis Ramirez and Héctor Camacho. That Ramirez fight was unbelievable. And the fight with Macho Kamacho, in my opinion, Edwin Rosario won. That he didn't get the nod from the judges, but hey man, watch that fight again. I believe Edwin Rosario not only beat Héctor Macho Kamacho, but he took the macho out of the Camacho boxer. All right, Camacho was never the same after this fight. He got hit really hard. He was pummeled, and I remember somewhere where I read that Camacho said after the fight, "Hey man, I don't want to get hit like that again." So he became a different boxer. Camacho became a different boxer after the Chapo Rosario's fight. He started being more elusive and running around, more like a Mayweather type of fighter, where at the beginning of his career, he was more aggressive and he would knock out a lot of his opponents, all right? Edwin Chapo Rosario tragically died very young. He had mental issues. I was walking down the street in Puerto Rico barefoot like a bum, and, drug use and all that. It actually destroyed his life, and we pray for his soul. All right, next one, Jose Chewy Torres was known for his aggressive style and punching power. He had a record of 41 wins, 29 by knockout, 3 losses, 1 draw. His career highlights include winning a world title and being a prominent figure in the light heavyweight division during the 1960s. This guy was, I believe, one of the first Puerto Rican champions in that weight division. I don't think we've had any other champions in the light heavyweight division since Jose Chewy Torres. Formidable fighter, passed away not too long ago. He was one of the historic figures of Puerto Rican boxers. Watch his fights. He was unbelievable, all right? And last but not least, and the reason why I have this fighter last is because I want to talk a little bit more about this particular fighter, which is one of my favorite fighters, Puerto Rican fighters, current Puerto Rican fighters. Every time she fights, when I say she, you already know who I'm going to talk about. I love to see her fight. She got that cria boricua, that heart, that Puerto Rican warrior spirit. Amanda Serrano, Serano is known for her aggressive style and exceptional punching power. As of now, she has a record of 42 wins, 30 by knockout, 1 loss, and that loss, it's a very disputable loss. 1 draw. Her career highlights include winning world titles in multiple weight classes and establishing herself as one of the best female boxers of her generation. Fighting the first 12-round, 3-minute fight. She's a historic figure. She is, in my opinion, in the opinion of many other people, the greatest female fighter of all time. She was unbelievable. I went to see that fight with Katie Taylor at the Madison Square Garden, where I was there present. My wife gave me that present, and we both went over there. The atmosphere was unbelievable. All the Irish fans were there, and I was pissed as hell when they called the decision. Katie Taylor got her ass whooped that night, guys. I'm sorry to tell you. I actually had it. I believe it was 6-4. I had it, or 7-3 in favor of Serrano when I was scoring. And you can watch the fight multiple times, and you'll see, Serrano completely beat her ass. And in that 5th round, I believe that should have been a 10-8 round, in my opinion. All right, guys. But anyway, these Puerto Rican boxers have left an indelible mark on the sport of boxing, showcasing a wide range of fighting styles and achieving remarkable success in the ring. Their contributions have solidified Puerto Rico's status as a powerhouse in the world of boxing. The fights between Puerto Ricans and Mexicans are legendary. We're looking forward to seeing much more of that. We have Subriel Matias, who's a new gallito from the island, who is creating a lot of buzz around the fight world about all those knowledgeable boxing fans. Those guys that really know boxing know that Subriel Matias has potential to make it all the way to the top. He's already a champion, but we're pretty sure he's going to be able to get more than 1 belt. All right. Hopefully he'll be given the opportunity. Well, guys, this is all for now. Remember, share, like, subscribe. Please, guys, this content that I'm doing for you guys, for all those guys that have a little bit of knowledge of boxing, and if you don't have that much knowledge in boxing, listen to this channel, share with your friends, learn more about the sport of boxing, about legendary fighters, commentaries about some upcoming fights, and that's the way you learn more about the sport, all right? Like, subscribe, share. This is all for now. Coach Mario saying hasta la vista. Have an excellent rest of the week, a great weekend coming up. God bless you all, and peace.